How to remother yourself. Growing up how I grew up, I am not receiving the love from, a mother in the way that a child should. I thought to myself, I don't know if I can do this. I felt like there was a hole inside of me that was bottomless. And I didn't know how I would ever go about giving that to myself. Because if you're in this type of situation, your subconscious mind remembers even things that you may not remember, such as being in the womb and different things, and it takes that as like at face value, and then it sees that as, well, you're not lovable because you didn't get a certain bonding time and you didn't get the love that other children got. So then it implants that limiting belief that you are unlovable and all of these things in your subconscious mind. And then you'll find yourself, as you're going through life, you're meeting different people that reflect that wound, and you have no idea where is this coming from. But then when you start looking inside yourself, you realize there is a bottomless pit where you don't fully love yourself, and you don't know. It almost feel like this is something that you should have gotten from your mother or your caretaker, but you feel like it's lacking. Well, I've been able to go on this journey and truly give that to myself, and finally get to the place where I truly love myself. And I'm my own mother. And even though my own birth mother could not give that to me, I was able to do that for myself. And that's the greatest gift that I could have ever given to myself. And if you're going through that situation, that's the greatest gift you could ever give to yourself. It'll feel like winning $1 million. So first thing that I did was I would hang out with my younger version of me, like the little me. Especially, I would picture her in a certain type of outfit that was very memorable for me, and I in my own mind, I would visualize a specific, whether it was a fort or a little island somewhere where we just the two of us, just the two of us, we could, have our little shindigs, and do the things that we love. And money was not a problem. So I would picture myself to having little dances with her, baking things, watching shows. And because the thing is, everything is now. Everything is happening now, even though it's like being in another state. And like, for instance, in California versus Florida or whatever. And it's like there's a certain kind of time delay, but it's all happening now. It's happening now. So that version of yourself, that little child, it's existing in its own timeline, and you can meet up in the 5D in your mind. And so I would do that. And at first, when I first started doing it, it felt weird. Like, I don't know if this is doing anything, but it would get me emotional. And I would do that when I first went to go find her in the astral, in the 5D. She was in a dark place. Like, she was actually in a dark room. And I got her out of there, and we started doing dances together. And I started speaking life into her. And you might think, oh, this is silly, but actually you have different parts of your psyche, and your inner child is like the foundation, foundational part of that. And if you try to ignore that, especially if it's gone through such a traumatic experience, not getting the kind of love that it deserved, and you try to move forward and build your life on this foundation that is shaky, everything else is gonna be fucked up. Everything else is going to be fucked up, and you're going to then have to backpedal and be like, what's going on? Why am I reacting in this way? Like, sometimes I'll just start doing these self-sabotaging things, and I don't know where it's coming from. It's different parts of your psyche, but especially the inner child, because it went through the most shit, so doing these things, it started to have a bigger impact. I started to actually become more creative, because the creativity is connected with the inner child. Before then, I didn't think I was creative, and I started tapping into these gifts and started removing the wrong people in my life, and it had this domino effect. And then it got so amazing that after about, I think, almost 2 years of doing that, that actually the inner child would come to help me in different instances where I was feeling down. It would show up and pull me out of there. So it's like you help them and they come and help you. They give you creative, ideas and different things, and they unlock a door that you didn't even know you needed open. So that is the first thing. Second thing is to watch how you talk to yourself. Start talking to yourself like how you wish your mother or whatever caretaker you had in life would talk to you. Because you are your own mother. As much as, yes, sometimes we think, well, I wish these people did this. I wish they were like this. I wish. You can keep wishing on a star all you want. But the fact of the matter is they didn't, because they themselves probably didn't receive that and they couldn't do it. So it's kind of like you're wasting time. Now you have to then be the cycle breaker, the chain breaker, and give that to yourself. You have to do it for yourself, and you're the best person to do it anyway, because you know certain things about yourself that even they couldn't have given to you. There's certain things that you know that you need that even they don't know that they need. So even if they were at their best, you'd still find something that they couldn't give to you, that only you can give to yourself. So when you start talking to yourself, and sometimes at first it will start to feel like, oh God, like you're trudging through, like mud and quicksand, like I don't know. But you keep the faith, you keep doing that. Sometimes even doing it in front of a mirror, and eventually it starts to feel like, oh, this is just how I normally talk to myself. When I'm trying something new, I say, hey, you got this. You got this. At first it's gonna be sad because you're like, I don't know if I can do it, because you're trying to be this mother to yourself that you've never been like a mother, if you don't have any kids of your own. So you're like, I don't know how to I don't know how to do this. But you just keep up the faith. You keep going, and eventually it starts to feel like this is normal. Okay, you're doing great, you're trying something new. That's okay. Keep going with it. I love you so much. You're my first love. You're my love child, and I will always put you first. And you start just talking to yourself like the best mother in the world that you would ever want speaks to you. And it actually works, because especially it's in your voice. You have power, you have dominion over yourself. When you say something in your own voice, even if at first you don't believe it, you keep the repetition, because repetition begots change in your life, and you keep doing it. It starts to actually take root. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's not gonna be like the first time you do it, like, oh, this is exactly my routine now. But as you keep going, you keep doing it, it starts to feel normal. Okay. And the next thing that I did was getting 1% better each day. It's not about taking the big leaps, it's about the tiny little steps you take. Your routine, your habits will actually show where you're going to be later on down the line. It's the little things you do. So like I was saying, with the way you speak to yourself, just 1% better. Even if like that whole day you had a lot of moments where like other thoughts and things started coming through, just, okay, I'm just trying to be a little bit 1% better today. And the only competition is who you were yesterday. And so you keep doing that, and you're going to surprise yourself. You're going to surprise yourself when you look back and you're like, oh my God. Because people take the 1%, the little steps, for granted. They really think that you can just try to jump the whole ocean in one day. But it's the little strokes that you do to swim through it that gets you to the other side. It's the little steps, and you'll really surprise yourself. And then it's going to push you to do other things in your life. So those are the ways that I have learned to remother myself, and I hope these help you as well. See you in the next video. Bye.